The tree above me here at Penllergare is known as the Goblin Tree. Goblins, woodland creatures and fairy folk. The term goblin first appeared in Britain in round about the 14th century, and it was rendered gobelinus in medieval Latin in the 12th century, and the term gobelin first appeared in 1195 in Old French. And in folklore, the goblins are small humanoids. They're grotesque, malicious, and greedy. They're particularly anxious to steal gold, silver, and jewellery. And they can exercise magical abilities in much the same way as fairies are said to be able to. They turn up in South American accounts, and there they are called duendes. One particularly powerful one, who is the protector of animals and jungle plants, was known as Tata Duende. And what I find amusing about that is that Tata means grandfather, so he's a kind of granddad goblin. And the German mythology and folklore contains very similar little beings who are referred to as kobolds, and they're usually invisible, but they can materialize in human form. Sometimes they'll appear as an animal. They can be a living entity of flame, as if they are the spirit of the fire. And in some of the stranger tales, they turn up as candles. Now, the kobolds that go on board ship wear sailors' uniforms and smoke pipes. The ones that live deep underground in the mines usually are hunchbacked and very peculiar to look at, particularly ugly. And the German name may have developed from the old Greek term Kobolds. Now there's a Dutch form found in the Low Countries, and those are known as kaboutiers. Now, the Santhal community in Bengal include creatures known as the Goodro Bonga. I find these names absolutely amazing. You bring out an entire dictionary with goblin names in it. And they are only 2 or 3 feet high, and they look a little bit like small children. Goodro, in fact, means small, and a bonga is a demigod. So the Goodro Bonga is a little demigod. When we go across to Delaware and the indigenous Indian population, we find that the Wampanoag, which means people of the first light, have some rather lovely little goblin-type creatures whom they refer to as Pukwudgies. And I think of all the names, that's about the best, the Pukwudgie. And what it means is the small wild man of the woods who is able to vanish. Then we go up to Scottish brownies, who are also called brunaids, and there's a lovely word here, Gruagach. And if you ever meet a Gruagach, I would advise you to run. The boggart is yet another one, and Sternberg wrote about them in 1851, and he says they are squat, hairy men with very long arms. Then we talk about the elves. They feature prominently among the mysterious entities that you find in woodlands and forests, like the one we're in here in Penllergare. In the Germanic folklore, there are the 2 types, the light elves and the dark elves. They're regarded as being roughly miniature human beings in size and shape. And they tend to play tricks on people and to give them nightmares. And there's a lovely German term for them, Alp-drücken, and it means literally nightmare and elf pressure. So if you're sleeping peacefully and one of these little chaps comes and sits on your head while you're asleep, you will have a nightmare, or an Alp-drücken. Fairies, generally regarded as good and beautiful, you know, as in all the famous children's stories that we've been brought up on, they come in two groups. There are those who are in the Seelie court and those who are not in the Seelie court, which is called the Unseelie court. The word Seelie translates as good or blessed, and so if you have a fairy from the Seelie court come to visit you, he will be helpful, he will perform magic spells to assist you in any way. But the other kind, the Unseelies, are very unfriendly and unpleasant, and they include, and some of these words that just merit a dictionary on their own, the Nukkalavi, and those are the kind of fairies that you do not want to encounter.
Lovely.
So if you like my videos here on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe.